Some of you guys was asking about what I feed these calves. Don't know if you can see that or not, if it's going to focus. There it does. It's a 16% feed. There's my little working deal there. It's got a little half. The gate swings around and you can close these off and put them right up through the chute there. Anyway, it's 16%. They really like it. It's like I said, oats, corn, pellets, some brewer's grains, sometimes not, molasses. Still need to get this red tag cow out of here. That's decided she wanted to get over here where she's not supposed to be. Right now we're feeding these guys twice a day. They're just getting about 5 pound head a day. They got fescue, round bales of hay, haylage. Like I said, we're not really trying to push them. I guess if they're going to put them for sale here next week or so, I guess probably wait till the first of the year so they don't sell right away. We'll turn them out on grass and then we will start pushing them, give them a little bit more feed, see if we can get some growth out of them. Guess I'll talk real quick here kind of how I got started in backgrounding. I bought this place in 2000. I grew up on a beef cattle farm. I think my dad loved his cows, he loved his horses. I think he loved them too much. We spent all summer making hay and feed for cows. Spent all winter feeding the cows. Calved them out in the spring. Started over making feed again every fall. Same time, same place. We sold the calves at the stockyards. I've heard the definition of the stockyards is a place where you sell your cattle that you're never happy with what they brought. Also, my my grandpa always said that the 2 times a man ought to be present, and that was when his firstborn was conceived and when his cattle sell. He was kind of a horse and cattle trader, so that explains that. Anyway, never made any money at it. He did enjoy it. I learned a lot growing up. When I bought this place in 2000, I bought a few heifers. Once I got some fence built and stuff, started with them, and I couldn't see it. I just could not see how, not having any more acres than I had, I could make any money. Calves were 90 cents. You keep a cow all year long, 365 days. Sell your calf for $400 at the end of the year. I just didn't see how, having 15, 20 cows, I could actually ever make anything. I just was going to do like he did and lose money. I had a couple older friends, mentors that were backgrounding cattle for themselves. They were buying calves at the stockyards and putting them together and send them west, and they fed them out themselves, and owned them, I should say. They didn't feed them out themselves; they contracted it. And I didn't have that kind of money or anything, but I worked with them a little bit and really liked the preconditioning because I get bored pretty easy. The first year that I did have cows, I about wore them out. I put them through the chute, seemed like weekly, and I got bored, antsy, wanted to do something all the time. So the backgrounding It keeps it interesting. There's always some new challenges, always something new to learn. What works this week won't work next week. Anybody that does anything with especially high-risk cattle bought out of the stockyards will tell you that you might have a drug regimen or a vaccine regimen and say it works perfect. As soon as you say that, it won't work any longer. Anyway, so I started just buying a few, background them, and all I did was just pretty much just buy a few calves, get them straightened out, and take them back to the stockyards. Never really got paid for it because, but I was learning. Didn't get paid for it because a lot of you do know, especially like through the sale barns and stuff, you don't get paid for that service. I know I seen Cal Camp, his live stream the other day. He talked about that, and he's right. Usually you don't get paid for it. We market these calves right off the farm, and we usually have people that are farmers, farmer feeders. They're more into selling their corn that's off or not marketable. Their sweepings, that kind of stuff, and they don't have facilities really to work cattle, so they're willing to pay the extra little bit to have these cattle that are worked right. Anyway, back to, I guess, the beginning there. Calves were 90 cents. Corn was $2 a bushel. It was a no-brainer. I was buying the calves. Corn didn't cost anything. Calves didn't cost a whole lot. Once I made some contacts on where to sell the calves, we started doing really well. Done too well too fast. Kind of outgrew my britches pretty quick. Had one kind of bad wreck where had a bunch of calves got sick. Tried to have too many here at one time. Learned that lesson. And then we were moving a lot of cattle every 30-45 days. I had a set of calves ready to go. So I ended up buying a little ground load semi. That worked for a little while, and then wasn't too long, a year and a half into that, maybe 2 years, fuel went to $4 a gallon. And thank goodness I found somebody that wanted that truck a lot worse than I did, and got it sold. I also, when I started this, like I said, corn was $2 a bushel, calves were 90 cents. My idea was to not own any equipment. I was just going to have my chutes and gates and electric fencing to cross fence, that kind of stuff. Hired out making the hay. And yes, that is a pain. Whoever you get the contract, they're going to make their own first. So after a couple times of getting some hay wet and moldy, first thing I knew, I bought a baler. And then, of course, then you got to have a rake, and then you got to have a mower. And then when you got that stuff, had to have a newer, better tractor. Well, I was smarter when I started than I am now, apparently, because I knew better when I started. But anyway, we do make our own hay and a little bit of haylage. I don't make any silage, any corn. I'd like to chop some here sometime, but don't really have the ground for it right now. We have everything pastured and hay. I've said in another video what hay ground we usually mow: a first cutting, a second cutting if it's available, and then we stockpile of that, and we graze calves, strip graze calves on it all fall and winter on stockpiled fescue, which works really well here in southern Ohio, as long as it don't get too wet. Anyway, that's kind of how I got started on that. I've stuck with it. Like I said, I kind of like a challenge. It's always something new and different. I think I've said in another video, we buy some odd calves, cattle. I'll kind of try a little bit of anything. Buy some thinner cows, not sickly thin, but you know, thinner cows out of the palpation or out of the kill pen, and take a chance on them that, you know, they'll come up pregnant if they haven't, you know, make sure that they haven't been palpated. A lot of times they do come up pregnant. Keep them for a little while, put some weight on them, get the vet here, get them palpated or check them ourselves. We'll buy some odd calves from time to time when we're not buying groups for somebody. I'll buy some calves that, you know, horn bulls, that kind of stuff. Bigger, what I call cutting bulls. One thing that I do here, I'm sure this is going to probably start controversy, but I use a big bander. I band these calves on day one when we run them through the chute. 7 days, or we run them back through the chute, booster them, and I cut the bag off at 7 days. 7 to 10, no longer than 10. Oh my gosh, that you don't want to do that. It'll get a little hard on the stomach. Anyway, that has worked really well for me. The main reason we do that is if I just plain out knife cut them, it takes them a lot longer to heal. I can get these calves healed up where you can't tell that they're freshly cut. In 30 days, they'll be the way we do it, nice and healed. Works out really well. Try not to use any antibiotics. Now, like I said, we do it with some high-risk cattle. When we do that, we vaccinate them on day one. We keep them separate from everything else. We've got a couple different barns that we can rent and places we can put them. Keep them separate, and then we check them. We just keep an eye on them. Anything that looks droopy, we pull it, we mark it. I use a clay pen. People know what I'm talking about, a marker pen that you'll see them mark hogs or cattle or whatever with. We mark their forehead whenever we give one a shot, plus, you know, it goes in the records. Whenever sometimes goes to sell, I'll still keep that calf in the group, but if somebody's wanting antibiotic free, then we'll definitely pull them. But you know, that depends on price. We'll have to negotiate that. You know, if I'm going to pull a couple calves out of there and have to take a price cut on them, we're going to have to make up that difference somewhere. So anyway, guys, if you listened to me ramble this long, appreciate it. Hope everybody's doing well. Please like, comment, subscribe. Have a great day.